It doesn't announce itself loudly. It doesn't come with a dramatic decision or a clear turning point. It begins quietly, almost accidentally. One day, you don't reply as fast. You don't explain yourself as much. You don't rearrange your schedule to accommodate everyone else's needs. And nothing explodes. The world doesn't collapse, but something subtle shifts. People notice. The dynamic changes. Because when you stop being available in the way you used to be, everything around you starts responding differently. Availability is often mistaken for kindness, for loyalty, for love. But psychologically, constant availability is rarely neutral. It's a signal that your time is flexible, that your energy is accessible, that your boundaries are negotiable. When you're always reachable, always responsive, always willing, people unconsciously organize around that. They assume you'll adjust, that you'll be there, that you'll fill the gap. Over time, your availability becomes part of their expectations, not something they consciously appreciate. When you stop being available, it disrupts that expectation. And disruption always reveals truth. People who are used to your constant presence often don't realize how much they rely on it until it has gone. Not because they're malicious, but because predictability feels safe. Your availability created emotional convenience. You were the one who listened, the one who replied, the one who showed up, the one who smoothed things over. When that suddenly changes, even slightly, it can feel unsettling to others, and their reactions can be telling. Some become confused, some become irritated, some suddenly show interest they never showed before, some disappear entirely. This is not random. It's psychological recalibration. When you stop being available, you remove a stabilizing element from the system. And systems don't like change. For many people, becoming less available isn't about punishment or withdrawal. It's about exhaustion. It happens after a long period of overgiving, after realizing that being there for everyone has left very little space for yourself. But even healthy changes can be misunderstood, especially by those who benefited from the old version of you. When you stop being available, people may interpret it as distance, rejection, or attitude, not because that's what it is, but because they were used to unrestricted access. Psychologically, access often gets mistaken for intimacy. When you were always available, people felt close to you. But closeness built on access alone is fragile. It depends on your constant presence, not mutual effort. When you step back, that illusion cracks. And suddenly, relationships are forced to reveal what they're actually made of. Some deepen, some fade, some become tense, and some end. One of the most uncomfortable parts of becoming less available is the guilt that follows, especially if you were conditioned to be the reliable one, the helper, the emotionally present one. When you stop responding immediately, stop over-explaining, stop prioritizing others automatically, your nervous system may interpret it as danger. You might feel like you're doing something wrong, like you're being selfish, like you're failing people. This guilt isn't proof that you're wrong. It's proof that your identity was tied to availability, that your worth was reinforced through being needed. When that identity loosens, discomfort is inevitable. Another shift that happens is how people treat your time. When you're always available, your time is often undervalued. Plans are last minute. Cancellations are casual. Boundaries are assumed to be flexible. But when availability decreases, time becomes visible. People start asking instead of assuming. They become more intentional. Or they drift away because convenience is gone. Both outcomes are information. They show you who is connecting with you as a person and who is connecting with your accessibility. This distinction can be painful, but it's also clarifying. When you stop being available, you also change how you experience yourself. You start noticing how much energy you are spending managing others' emotions, responding, reassuring, fixing, explaining. Without that constant outward focus, there's suddenly space. And that space can feel uncomfortable at first. Quiet can feel empty when you're used to noise. But slowly, something else appears: awareness. You begin to notice your own needs without immediately dismissing them. You start hearing your own thoughts without interruption. You realize how rarely you checked in with yourself before. This is often when people say things feel different, but they can't explain why. The truth is, your internal hierarchy has shifted. You are no longer last on the list. When availability changes, power dynamics change too. Not power in a dramatic sense, but subtle relational power. The power to choose, to say no without explanation, to delay a response, to prioritize rest. When you stop being available, you reclaim choice. And not everyone is comfortable with that, especially people who unconsciously relied on your lack of boundaries to feel secure. Some may test you, push limits, make comments, guilt you. Others may suddenly become distant, unsure how to relate without the old pattern. This isn't cruelty. It's adjustment, but adjustment can be revealing, because healthy relationships adapt. Unhealthy ones resist. Another important change is how you are perceived. When you're always available, you can become invisible, predictable, taken for granted. But when your presence becomes intentional rather than constant, it gains weight. People notice when you speak, when you show up, when you engage. Absence gives presence contrast. This isn't about playing games or withholding affection. It's about natural human perception. Scarcity changes attention, not because it's manipulative, but because it breaks autopilot. And when autopilot breaks, awareness returns. For many people, becoming less available also exposes loneliness that was previously masked. When you are always interacting, always responding, always connected, it felt like closeness. But when you step back, you may realize how few people actually meet you halfway. This realization can sting, but it's not a failure. It's information. It shows you where connection was sustained by effort versus mutuality. This awareness allows you to redirect energy toward relationships that feel reciprocal, even if there are fewer of them. One of the most misunderstood effects of reduced availability is how it affects respect. Respect isn't demanded. It's often a response to boundaries. When people see that your time and energy are finite and protected, they adjust how they approach you. Not everyone will like it, but many will respect it, even if they don't say so. And more importantly, you begin to respect yourself differently. Self-respect grows when actions align with internal limits. When you stop betraying yourself to maintain harmony. When availability becomes a choice instead of an obligation. There is also a grief that comes with this shift. Grief for the version of you who tried to be everything. Who believed that being needed was the same as being valued. Who stayed accessible even when it hurt. Letting go of that role can feel like losing a part of your identity, but it also creates room for a more stable one. An identity rooted in self-trust rather than constant responsiveness. Over time, as you become more selective with your availability, something interesting happens. Interactions feel clearer, less resentful, less draining. You're not showing up out of obligation. You're showing up because you want to. And that changes the emotional quality of connection. You're more present because you chose to be there, not because you felt you had to. This is where relationships either strengthen or dissolve, and both outcomes serve growth. When you stop being available, you also stop over-explaining. You no longer feel the need to justify every choice. Silence becomes acceptable. Delays become neutral. You realize that not everything requires clarification, that people who trust you don't need constant reassurance, and people who demand constant access were never really comfortable with your autonomy. This realization can be freeing, but it can also be lonely. Growth often is. But loneliness with self-respect feels different from connection built on self-erasure. One drains, the other steadies. Eventually, you notice that life feels quieter, but also more grounded. You're not pulled in as many directions. Your energy recovers. Your nervous system settles. Decisions feel less reactive. You're not constantly responding. You're choosing. And that choice changes how you move through the world. People may say you've changed, and they're right, you have, but not in the way they imply. You haven't become colder. You've become clearer. You haven't withdrawn. You've redirected. You haven't disappeared. You've arrived in your own life. When you stop being available to everyone, you become available to yourself. And that changes everything.